Alright, so you've been trying to get into jazz guitar, you're really interested in it, but a lot of the chords just seem too daunting. Well, today we're going to talk about a jazz chord called a shell voicing. It's a smaller version of a 7th chord that's going to work great, and it's going to be super expandable, so stay tuned. Hey, Daniel Seraph here. Welcome to my channel. Every week here I'm sharing with you the things that I've learned over the last 15 years as a professional guitarist and teacher, and sharing them with you, the intermediate guitarist, so that you can learn everything you need to know in order to improve. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and make sure to click that subscribe button below and ding the bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Alright, so today we're going to talk about these wonderful smaller 7th chords called shell voicings. Now, shell voicings are going to work amazingly well in all kinds of jazz contexts. And honestly, it doesn't matter if you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, shell voicings have a great place and are amazingly efficient and useful. Okay, so we're going to learn two different shapes of shell voicings today, and then we're going to manipulate them into all the different types of 7th chords that we might need. Now, this is the first in a series. In the next 3 videos after this, I'm going to show you how to play a jazz blues and some other popular jazz tunes using these voicings. But let's go ahead and jump into how to play these shapes exactly. Here, I'm playing the first chord shape. It is a major 7th chord. Now, what fingers you use exactly, it's not going to be the biggest deal for this shape. You could use index, ring, and pinky, or index, middle, and ring is fine. And basically what we have here is we have the root, 8, X, and then we have 9, 9. So that's the root, no string, the 7th, and the 3rd, right? So that's all you really need in this voicing in order to kind of hear the tonality of it, and it works great. Now you can strum it as long as you mute all the other strings, or you could pluck it with a kind of hybrid picking style. That's our major 7 chord, right? So this is based off of C, so that's going to be C major 7. And that will work great for any major 7 chord. It's movable, right? So you can move it around the guitar neck. And if you're brand new to chords like this and they seem challenging, I would practice moving it around. All right, wonderful. The next chord is going to be a C dominant 7. And what we do is we'll lower that 7th, which was on the D string. That'll be 8, X, 8, 9, and then XX. All right, and you should see that chord there on the screen. Again, this is a C dominant 7, also known as C7. So I have my in-person students and my on Zoom or Skype lesson students, always when I have them practice these shell voicings, I like for them to play major 7, dominant 7, and try and work on going back and forth between those. In jazz music, oftentimes these chords will change qualities, right? You might go from major 7 to dominant 7 to minor 7 to minor 7 flat 5 to diminished 7. Boom, that's all the ones we're going to learn today. All right. So we got our major 7, we got our dominant 7. Let's talk about the next one, our minor 7. So we have 8, X, 8, 8, and you hear it. Now I got minor, right? Because I lowered the 3rd 1/2 step. That's how you make a minor chord. So we got major 7, dominant 7, minor 7. Okay, now the interesting thing about the next chord is that it's called a minor 7 flat 5 chord. Sometimes people call it in the classical realm half diminished. I'm not a big fan of that term. Now, this shell voicing doesn't have a 5th in it. So that means that our voicing for C minor 7 and C minor 7 flat 5 are going to work the exact same. They're going to look the exact same. Okay, our last chord is going to be a C diminished 7 chord, okay? And that you have to change your fingering around a little bit. I'm using my middle, my index, and my ring. And that's 8, X, 7, 8. All right, great. So those voicings are going to sound really nice I just kind of was moving it around with the root all on the E string. Now, it's very convenient if we also have the chord that has the root on the A string. So let's jump into that one. I'll just go right next door to F, which will be at the 8th fret of the A string. I'm going to put my middle finger there, and we're going to build first an F major 7 chord. We got X, 8, 7, 9, XX. Again, you only want to play the strings that you are fretting. So that is our F major 7. All right, so just like in the last shape, if we wanted to make it a dominant 7, we would lower the 7th. This one happens to be 1, 3, 7 in that order. If we flat that 7, lower it half step, boom, we got F dominant 7 or F7. Sounds pretty nice. Okay, then our next chord quality here is going to be F minor 7. Let's lower the 3rd, which is our pointer finger. Now this might be a little stretchy for some people, but we want to get used to this stretch. Okay, so there we have X, 8, 6, 8, XX, right? And I'm hybrid picking most part, but I might strum it sometimes too, especially in a jazz context if I'm trying to do something like something more kind of acoustic-y. So again, just like the last chord shape situation, the minor 7 and the minor 7 flat 5 will both look the same because there's no 5 in this chord at all. It just has the 1, the 3, and the 7. Or in this case, the 1, the flatted 3rd, and the flatted 7th. Okay, so again, we have major 7, we have dominant 7, and we have minor 7. And, oh, sorry, and also minor 7 flat 5. Our last chord here is going to be the one that works for the diminished 7. And that's going to be X, 8, 6, 7. Now, in the next video, I'm going to show you how to play a jazz blues with these voicings. But just as a moment of kind of showing you what these can do, it's amazing. I'm literally just going to use those shapes that I just showed you. Check them out. It's amazing the amount of music that you can get out of these shapes. Okay, great. Again, stay tuned. In the next video of this series, I'm going to show you some different songs. So go ahead, make sure you're practicing these different chord shapes. Next video is going to be a little bit more challenging because we're going to bounce around with the different shapes. So, make sure you work on all the different shapes because they will be used in the jazz blues. Thanks so much for checking out this video. I have a lot more video content on this channel, so make sure if you haven't, you go ahead and subscribe. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to post a question below. And if you're looking for some more great kind of lesson material, go ahead, head over to my website, www.danielserif.com. The link is below, and you can check out this free 5-part course that I have over there that's really excellent. And it's more about playing kind of like lead stuff and using the pentatonic scale. All right, great. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you dug the video, and I'll see you very soon.